And here we go. Hey baby, I'm about to be rolling on this thing. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'll let you know. while we're getting this thing all set up, I will be changing the name of this Sunday Night Live and Wednesday Night Live show to the Bobby Brown Show. The Raw Report will be a on the spur of the moment news show where we take the news of the day, give our commentary on it, and that's what the Raw Report is. We're just going to briefly report 10, 15, 5, no more than 15 minutes on certain things that are happening during the day. So that's on the spur of the moment. But the live show, Sunday Night Live and Wednesday night, will be the Bobby Brown Show. And hopefully I'll be able to have some guests and be able to do a call-in where you can call in and we can discuss the topic of the day. So we're about to get started.
Blue collar, white collar, black professors, white scholars, politicians, Dalai Lamas. Everybody in the whole wide world need hope if I be honest. I'm in that number.
Well, I told you I was going to go over to part 2 of Mr. Roly-Poly. Sugar Bear himself can't get enough of that Golden Crisp. I'm telling you, he look just like Sugar Bear, don't he? Look at that. I'm telling you, that's Sugar Bear right there. Well, let's see what Sugar Bear has to say, because Sugar Bear continues to go on his rant on dumping on black men because they not buying into the Kamala Harris is fully black or black issue. Not understanding that we can call her out for not being black on policies, for using white supremacist policies to decimate the black community, right along with Joe Biden and all the rest of them, and along with the CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus, and those fools who voted for Joe Biden's crime bill. Yeah, even Bernie Sanders told you I will never let him up. He needs to apologize publicly for that, and apologize for support, and tell us what he's going to do to unravel that crap before he can get a black vote. That's something I believe he has to do, because his vote made it go through. A collection of votes get legislation passed and get it implemented, and it takes one vote and another vote and another vote. So his vote added up to that. So Bernie Sanders need to make recompense for that. He need to publicly apologize. Something that the rest of them are not going to do. Joe Biden haven't done it. He need to come first and publicly apologize for that, make amends, talk about what he's going to do to unravel and rebuild it, and then at the same time give a concession, reparations for American descendants of the slaves. Now, we can call her out whenever she pull out the race card. We can call out, matter of fact, I'm doing a series, a short video on Kamala Harris, Panderer in Chief. I'm working on that video right now. Just her going pandering all non-stop pandering to black people when she's East Indian. But we're going to get into this and listen to this fool, this nutcase fool who feels like he had control of blacks. Blacks listened to him. Blacks were led by him. He really believed that he was a official black leader in a black community where he can lead black people to the promised land, and he was never that. He's a political pundit and a news anchor man. And who's going to follow a political pundit? And what it look like you trying to follow me across some kind of black promised land in America? Man, I'm trying to, not me, don't follow me, because they say the blind leading the blind, we both fall in the ditch. So you don't want to do that. But let's get over here to Roly-Poly and take a look at what he has to say.
It's going to have a very difficult task. I say it because you are going to have some black folks who are not going to give them the same runway they gave President Barack Obama. And what you have seen thus far, specifically when it comes to Senator Kamala Harris, is you actually are seeing that. Yesterday, I was on MSNBC, and we were talking about this whole idea they were talking about Donald Trump Jr. retweeting someone who said that, oh, did you know that Senator Kamala Harris, her father is...
First of all, I'm stopped already. I don't know what it is it with black men who think just because they went to a sorority, Greek sorority at that they better than any black men. It's just like I went to a friend of mine's, she's Nigerian, beautiful young lady. I mean, I could say a million things about her. I went to a Nigerian party with her. And because I'm an old country boy from South Florida, boy, them Nigerians didn't like me being with their Nigerian queen, boy, I tell you. And she was looking good, man. She was looking good. And boy, they're like, what are you with this guy right here? Who is this guy? I mean, they was grilling. Who's this guy? What's wrong with the Nigerian? Why you go with this black American? Not knowing that you black too, bro, and you live in America now, you can experience what any black American can go through now that you're black. Some of you blacker than black. It's not like latte skin Kamala Harris. I'm talking about jet blacker than black, a siren for police officers that's in the force as a white supremacist. Just a siren. But they, you know, my whole point is certain people think they better than certain people, not understanding, bro, we the same. We're no different. We may came from a different place, but our skin in America, our skin is black, and you are a target for white supremacy. I don't care if you went to Nigeria and you got your doctor's license, mess around and be in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time. I happen to be driving in the wrong state at the wrong time, and your butt will get hemmed up. I don't care what you can say. Be like my ex-wife. She's a cop. And she thought, we got stopped for a ticket, and she thought she could pull that New York cop badge. I'm NYPD. What the hell that got to do with anything for old country redneck cop in Surrey County, Virginia? You know what that man said? He said, I don't give a crap if you NYPD. I just gave my mama a ticket. So what make you think I'm not going to give you one? So I just gave her a little stupid look because she always pulling out that card. Pulling out that NYPD card, thinking she gonna get some sympathy, and that's the point that I made the other week with Kamala Harris, always pulling out a card, color card, thinking that she can get black people on her side. When we're tired of people telling us what color they are, and not telling us is your policies gonna be unapologetically black? Is it gonna do whatever it can to lift up the black community? You might care less about your car. And in this case, Roland Martin, he's talking all this talk. I don't care about your heritage, Roland Martin, your AKA Delta, whatever, Kappa sorority, all that stuff don't mean nothing to me. It's a social club. At the end of the day, you're a person, a human being. So I don't care nothing about that. Let me get back on this because boy, he wearing that thing, boy.
Jamaican, and her mother is Indian. And then, of course, he later deleted that particular tweet. And I went on and I said that there's a significant problem when you talk about this whole issue of blackness because it is black hate cloaked in black love. And so what you've had all these folks who call them...
Just because black people decide to check you on your blackness doesn't mean it's self-love, self-hate cloaked in self-love. No, it's just making sure that we don't get another black person, a person of dark color, to play our emotions as if they're going to do something for us and they're not going to do it. Like I said before, big boy, nobody cares about her interracial, because that's what she is, interracial. Interracial means you got more than two races in your blood system, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're not all black, you're not all white, you have Indian. That's interracial. That is not black. Biracial is when your mother and father are two different colors. That's biracial. That was Barack Obama. Black is when your parents are black. Your mama is black and your daddy is black. That is black. Let's go over the terms again so people from, this is something that's elementary. A black person is a person whose parents are black. My mama was black, my daddy was black. Biracial is my daddy was white German, my mom was black. Or I'm Chinese and my dad is white. That is biracial. It doesn't just come in black, it comes in various colors. People fall in love all over the world in different countries. They marry and have kids. That's biracial. Interracial is when you got a little bit of Native American in you, a little bit of Scott Irish in you, half of you is black. That's interracial. But we termed it black because the federal government in the 1700s, I might be mistaken, in the 1600s, put in place this one-drop rule to claim you as a slave, saying that if you had a little bit of black blood, you are still up to be sold on the block. That day is gone. It is over with. That was so long. That one-drop rule do not apply. Again, one color is when your mama and daddy is one color and they birth you and you that same color. Biracial is one color black, one color white, or whatever. Two colors mixing together. Interracial is when your daddy was probably mixed, but your mama is one color. You're more than two colors, Roland. And it's not the fact that we're questioning none of that, because you could be all that and still do great things in this country. That has nothing to do with it. I want to know about your record as a politician. Stop telling me who you are and where you came from. Storytelling don't mean nothing. They say facts sell, story just tells. Tell me the facts of your record. Is what you pushed in the past pro-black? Did it uplift the black community? Because right now, I don't want to be mixing this black and brown stuff. Because right now, according to economists, the wealth, if the black race don't start closing that wealth gap, we're going to get so far behind, it's going to be hard to catch up. We're in survival mode. We got to make demands from this country. This country have robbed us so much that we're so far behind and they still far ahead, and that is not fair, and we're not tolerating that, Roland, whether you like it or not. We're demanding certain things because you're not going to sit here and live the American dream when you got that American dream on black people's American nightmare. And we're not going to do that, doughboy. Now don't get me wrong, I'm a little chubby. I got a stomach. But I'm not Roland Martin chubby. This brother been eating BS, man. He ain't eating facts. But let's keep going.
Themselves ADOS, American descendants of slaves, and so
now he finally came out and admit who his hatred is toward on primetime TV. He finally got an opportunity to go before corporate media, white-owned media, which is what I call an informational plantation, and he is the Stephen on the interracial plantation. You know Stephen from Django Unchained, the Samuel L. Jackson character. He is the Stephen on the informational plantation known as U.S. media, corporate media, white supremacist media, whatever you want to call it. It's not black. And his job is to whip these Negroes back on the field. And when I say field in particular, I mean the Democratic Party field. Now, most blacks are not going on the Republicans, maybe some insane blacks. who don't understand they just as bad or if not worse. They'll tell you in their face they don't like you. The point with the Democratic Party is they claim that they're going to be on our side. At the same time, while we're not looking, they're fast-tracking Trump's judges and the whole 9 yards. He finally admitted that he is up. He finally said the word ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves, which he is not a part of. And he hates that the leaders of the American Descendants of Slave movement has taken up the mantle that he thought he had. He thought he could control black Americans. He's lost his control. Like I said, Stephen is not Stephen, and Mr. Kennedy put him back on the field with the rest of the slaves. So he gonna fight for his position. He'll kill a Negro in order to stay in the big house. He'll rat him out. He'll shame him. He'll shoot him himself. You know what I mean? At the end of Django Unchained, Samuel Jackson was trying to shoot Django. Instead of siding with him and saying, yo, we free, man. Thank you for freeing us. He was trying to keep the house. And that's what Roland Martin is doing. He's trying to keep the house. So I don't trust him. Anytime you sitting here buck dancing for a white politician and you saying if you don't learn how to dance, you ain't gonna get the black vote. Like you control what the black vote is, man. Who the hell are you? I'm one vote. I would never tell somebody they're not gonna get the black vote. I can tell you right now, the policies that certain segments of black societies are demanding from these politicians, and they already made a statement that if these politicians don't heed to our demand, they can kiss our behind. We ain't voting for them. We're tired of voting for people who ain't gonna do nothing for us, even in the midst of the fear of Trump. And the fear is real. But what we fear is status quo. Another 4 years, another 8 years, and nothing being done. If you're going to get in office and you're not going to do nothing, what's the difference between you and Trump? You're not going to do nothing for black people. At least he'll do something. He'll probably do something. I mean, do something to me in my face where I can see it versus doing something behind my back where I can't see it. You got your hand on my shoulder, making me think it's all right, and at the same time you got a knife behind your back ready to stab me in it. I know Trump trying to destroy me. I don't know what Joe Biden doing. I don't know what Kamala Harris doing. I don't know what Cory Booker. I don't trust him. I ain't got to trust Trump because there is no trust there. I don't trust that man. Never did, never will. But you're telling me to trust you? Get out of here. Let me keep going.
They've been out here talking about this particular agenda. And what I find to be interesting is that, in which folks also don't want to deal with, is there is a significant hate towards immigrants. Even
nobody, Roland Martin, hates immigrants. No black man in America that's worth their salt hate black immigrants. We love black immigrants. Black immigrants help shape this country. Marcus Garvey is a hero, an icon. Malcolm X, an icon. You know who I'm talking about because you always mention their name. They fought for black causes. They were unapologetically black. It had nothing to do with what country they came from. They were still black. It's not the case in Miss Harris, bruh. They fought, marched, died, got shot, killed. They're trying to lift up all black people in the United States and abroad. All. Kamala Harris took a white supremacist policy and executed it to its perfection in California and put more black men in jail over some of the dumbest stuff and pushed mandatory minimum laws, 3-strike laws, all to fill up the prisons to the max. That private prisons begin to boom as a real great investment. Where white people, because black people was not investing in the private prisons that much. There were a few, but most of them wasn't. Well, white rich elites started investing in their own private prison, using black men that was overran in those jails that Kamala Harris put them in to get cheap labor off of. She signed off for all that stuff. So like I said, I don't care if she was jet blue black from Tupelo, Mississippi black. Her policies are anti-black. And I wouldn't consider her black because of the way her policies are. That's the same way I feel about Jesse Lee Peterson. Same way I feel about Larry Elder. They blacker than black, but their policies are anti-black.
Black immigrants when it comes to ADOS.
Nobody hate black immigrants. You're assuming that. See, what you don't understand, ADOS mean American descendants of slaves. Unfortunately, Roland, you're not part of that group, and that's what you hate. You can't have your hand in it. You can't control that. You can't give no vice in a group that you're not a part of. You're a Haitian, bro. That's like there's a lot of Haitian organizations that I can't be part of because I'm not a Haitian. Don't mean they hate me. Don't mean I hate them. Matter of fact, I got a couple of business partners of mine always having me to come on the Haitian radio to talk about their business partners. They sell my program. You know, legal program I told you about, the one I keep telling y'all to look at on the video down at the bottom, Get Educated. Well, a lot of my clients in Brooklyn are Haitians. Mr. John Rameau, one of my top business partners, always asks me to come and participate in Haitian events. Man, I'm gelling it up with my Haitian. Those are my brothers. But I can't claim to be a leader in that community or to lead people in that community, and I'm not Haitian. Now, as blacks in general, as a black man, I can. And we coalesce and come together as one when we need to. I probably can if you allow me to, but I can't lead in Haitian affairs because I'm not Haitian. If the American Haitians have an agenda for politicians to help take care of their needs, I can't lead them in that. They have to lead in that. And for me to get mad because they don't let me in to help them lead is dumb, stupid, and asinine, bruh. So why are you getting upset because ADOS is not listening to you? ADOS is blowing you off. ADOS is saying you need to be quiet, Roland. You have nothing to do with this because you're not us in this aspect. You us in general as the whole diaspora, the African diaspora, and how Africans gotta spread it all over the world. We're all one. But in this particular case, bruh, yeah, that's right. You're listening to me. You got your hand on your face. You're listening. In this particular case, bruh, you got nothing to do with it. This agenda, this mission, this mandate for reparation, the whole 9 yards, that's theirs. That's not yours. So you can't advise us because you can't advise us on something that you have nothing to do with. And I say the same thing. I can't advise on Haitian affairs. I can't advise on Nigerian affairs. I can't advise on Jamaican affairs. I got friends who can do that I can't advise. That's not me. Because I am an American descendant of slaves. My family come from slave ownerships in America. Now, slaves are all over the world. There were slaves in Guam, there were slaves in Jamaica, there were slaves in even in Africa, there were slaves in North Africa, slaves in China, there were slaves everywhere. Black slaves. Belgium, slaves were everywhere. That's why we call it the diaspora. But when they come to American descendants of slaves, and the American descendants of slaves are demanding from the government that they pay for what they promise, and they're not going to vote for them until they pay it, then that's them, bro. You can't do nothing about it, Sugar Bear. So don't get mad. ADOS is not hating on immigrants. Those are our brothers. We love our brothers. And if we need to come together to help our agenda get moved, we are right behind them. We're not going to get in front of them when it comes to their own agenda, but we'll be behind them in support, pushing them, right there with them. But you're trying to make this thing a separate thing. This has nothing to do with you, bruh. Nothing to do with you.
I can say that because I've had some of these damn fools literally hit me.
So you gonna call them damn fools? Why are they damn fools, man? Because they got an agenda that you don't agree with? That it goes direct in conflict with something that you probably are involved in? Like caping for the Democratic Party, being a sheepdog, a black sheep herder for the Democratic Party? That you just want to try to lead the black people back on that plantation, known as political parties, RNC and DNC, both are horrible. Black people are finally deciding, I'm not trusting none of you son of a guns. You're going to have to come get my vote. We're not giving you jack. If you want my vote, you come talk to me, you come to my community, you spend some time with me, let me tell you about the things that's going on in my community, and you need to push it if you want our vote. If you don't push it, you ain't getting jack. Oh, you're going to cause this? Look, I'm more concerned about my people being erased from stupid policies versus one man doing something stupid. See, the bottom line is this. Trump has no power if you keep the House and Senate. Y'all are so focused on getting rid of Trump, and that is something you should focus on. That's why you need to listen to ADOS and tell your politicians that you got connection with Roland Martin, because you act like you know all of them and you got connection with all of them. Let them know from your own mouth, instead of criticizing ADOS, you go out there and tell those politicians that ADOS is serious, and if you don't give them the policies that they're asking for, you're not going to get their vote. That is on purpose. That is called strategizing. That is called applying political pressure. You never, ever, and I'm telling people this every day. I just left the event where I had to go count votes or watch people count votes. I'm not ever anymore telling people who I'm supporting, because that's a free endorsement. That's freely just basically telling me you ain't got to get me nothing. Everything is cool. You don't have to do nothing for me. I'm just gonna give you a vote. That's like me going out on a date and the girl just give it to me, man. I don't know if I can build a relationship on that. I mean, you know, I say hello, buy you a drink, and you ready to leave already? Come on, let's have at least 2 more drinks. Let's talk. Let me get to know you. Some of y'all are just like that with these party politics. They give you 1 or 2 drinks and you ready to just go ahead and give it to them. They mention 1 or 2 policies that sounds good and you want to give them the vote. And those policies pretty much lift up all people, and that's great. But you need some specific policies to catch you up with certain people. It was blacks, whites that built this country. Native Americans, much as I have respect, I have a certain percentage of my family Native Americans. They didn't go out here and get whooped and beat on to build these businesses for white interests. Let me get out this. That's another segment. I'm sorry. I'm going too far.
Up saying, oh, you're not really ADOS because your paternal great-grandparents migrated from Haiti, which is really stupid and asinine when you realize that I was born in Houston, Texas. My mama was born in Houston. My daddy was born in Houston. And so...
Yeah, but what about your grandma, great-grandma? We talking about slave lineage. You only went 2 generations, Roland. Sure, your mommy and daddy probably was from Houston, Texas, but you came from Haiti, bruh. Did anybody bring your family from Haiti and make them slaves in America? That's a different story. If somebody did that, that would make you an American descendant of slaves. American descendants of slaves ain't got nothing to do with Africa in general. If your family lineage were brought from Haiti over to the United States as slaves and was treated as such, and white America got free labor to build this prosperous country, to be the envy of the world, where people will come in to the United States in seek of the American dream, off the backs of blacks who went through American nightmare. If your Haitian lineage end up being slaves to some white owner, yes, you are an American descendant of a slave. You're a slave that came over to America and they got free labor off it, and you come from that lineage. But you stopped at 2 generations, bruh. Let's keep going.
I can actually trace lineage back. And the reason this thing is...
Can you trace lineage back to slavery, Roland? It's called American descendants of slaves. American descendants of slaves. Like I said, if your great-great-grandfather and great-great-grandmother was pulled from Haiti into the United States to do slave labor for free, then the government owes them. But you're talking about your grandma and your mama and your daddy. That's only 2 generations, bruh. That's not slave lineage.
Stupid and...
No, you're stupid and asinine. You yourself, what gets me, Roland, I'm a brother from South Florida. I'm not highly educated as you are. You got the brains, you got the degrees, you got all that. But there's some things that you can't get, and that's common sense, and that's wisdom. You sit up here calling ADOS absent-minded and stupid because they are focused on slave lineage for this agenda that they got. Because the government promised to do it and then keep their promise. And not only did they not keep their promise, they took more away from us, pretty much got us back to the point where we're almost slaves and we end up being sharecroppers. Now, can you trace your lineage back to sharecropping in the United States? I doubt it. But right now, this isn't American descendants of sharecroppers. This is American descendants of slaves. So what you're crying about and complaining about and going on the news, running your mouth and bitching about, and y'all, I'm sorry, I don't like using his words, but he's bitching. You're bitching about something you have nothing to do with, bro. You bitching because you cannot lead this effort and you have your own thing that you want to lead, and these American descendants of slaves are not going your direction. That's the problem. I keep telling you, Roland Martin, and I know you know who I am because I did a video where I got over 100,000 views, and that's almost more than most of the videos that you do every day. And I know you probably call me out on your show. I don't care. And I know you'll probably ask me to come on and debate you. I wouldn't set myself up because you are more intelligent for us educational wise. But common sense wise, bruh, you are not going to win this fight. ADOS ain't going to roll over and say, Roland, you right. They ain't going to ever do that. And what you're doing is causing a wedge. Because ADOS can be your best friend when it comes to your agenda for the Haitians. And Haitians getting something done that they need done, ADOS will come to your aid if you need that done, if you come to ADOS aid instead of crapping on them and pooping on them and pissing on them. You should support and keep your mouth closed. Like I said in the last video, either you go get on this train or don't get on or get off. You gonna ride this train or get your butt off. Because if you don't, you're going to get thrown off the train and we're going to run over you with the train.
Asinine, because these folks somehow believe that they somehow have...
All right, so I'll be an asinine and you just got 9 asses. And most of them are in your cheeks and in your chin.
Cornered this idea of creating a black agenda for ADOS people, okay? And the reason I have contempt for many of them, now there are some people who truly believe in terms of candidates should have a black agenda and speaking to the issue of African Americans. I've spent my whole life doing that. Now some of these fake ass people all of a sudden decide to just wake up in the last 2 or 3 years where Those of us like me, I've run 3 black newspapers. My first internship was with a black newspaper in...
Oh, there you go with this bull crap, man. Let me calm down, people. Let me calm down. I don't care how many newspapers you ran. I don't care what show you've been on, man. That don't mean jack. Those are your credentials, and you probably kiss more ass to get up that ladder, kiss more white elite ass to get to that area. And no true black man or woman want to be led by an ass kisser. You got on MSNBC and literally not only showed your ass, but you kissed all 3 of those news pundits' ass up there. They talking about Trump Jr., they talking about Russian, and you still talking about, no, it's the black, it's these asinine black people. ADOS. Again, dude, our agenda is not your agenda. You don't have no understanding of. Sure, you say you've been fighting for black issues all your adult life. Great, congratulations. But you didn't fight for every black issue. And right now, ADOS has their own issues that they're fighting on, and let them do that, bruh. Stay out the way. Stop getting jealous and envious, because this has nothing to do with you. Either you support or get out the freaking way. It's plain and simple.
1990. Do the math, 2019, 1990.
Don't give
You'll
a
understand
crap,
what I'm
Roland.
talking about.
Don't give a crap.
But the reason why this is stupid, because what you have is, you do have people who are questioning her blackness. Now, first of all, if you deal with that phrase itself, who is black, you can actually have a daddy who's from Jamaica, mama Indian, and you...
Her daddy is maybe from Jamaica, but her daddy lineage, her daddy heritage is half Scott Irish white. The lineage leads to slave ownership. Her dad, father, Kamala's grandfather, the white side of her family, moved from Ireland to start a sugarcane plantation in Jamaica. Purchased some slaves and brought them to Jamaica. But that's how all our countries got populated with black people. America got populated that way. Haiti got populated that way. Jamaica got populated that way. Panama got populated that way. Guyana got populated that way. That's just how it is. But you don't want to talk about that. You just want to make it seem like you want to put the label up there for her father, Donald Harris, as if he's 100% black. He is a biracial man, and nothing wrong with that. Half Jamaican, half Scott-Irish. Nothing wrong with that. And I'll say it over and over again, Roland, so you can really get into your head. We don't care about none of that. We don't care if you're from Alaska. We don't care if you're from Tupelo, Mississippi. Nobody cares about that. We only care about that when you start talking about that to pander, to try to get black votes. Stop doing that. That is what pissed us off. And that's when we start checking her. You pulling all this blackness, show us the black card. Because your mama is East Indian. India. Mahatma Gandhi. That India. Now, you're such an intellectual, but you're not using the common sense. And you're on TV talking in anger instead of talking with sensibility. If you ever followed the ADOS movement, they're saying you can't lead this effort because of this. They didn't say you can't support. And they didn't say you can't tell them what to do. I mean, you can't lead them in certain areas. They're basically saying, look, we have certain things. We have an ADOS black agenda. You might have a Haitian black agenda. Nothing wrong with having a personal black agenda for your particular group in the African diaspora. The Pan-Africans have their agenda. Keep going.
You still black. African American saying I'm from the United States. It's a whole different deal. She also was born in the United States, so let's not act like that somehow that also doesn't exist.
Nobody said she was not born in the United States. Roland Martin. Who in the hell are you listening to? I think you're listening too hard. Oftentimes you can listen and hear things that nobody really said. Nobody questioned that she was not American. If she was not American, she couldn't run for office, bro. Nobody questioned that. Nobody questioned her qualifications to run for office. The two things that are being questioned is mainly her agenda, her policies, when her previous policies have been BS policies. And you have to agree that it harmed the black community more than helped. And her knowing that in order to win the primaries, she have to get a lot of the black votes, and her doing whatever she can to sound black, to act black. I mean, she did a video with Stephen Colbert talking about she want to be the first senator from Wakanda. What kind of mess is that? Yeah, I got the video. I'm going to show it soon. Not here, but I'm going to show it. She go to Breakfast Club talking about weed smoking and talking about, look here, half of my family is Jamaican. All Jamaicans don't smoke weed. Now, if you're talking about people that practice Rastafarian culture, that's weed smoking is part of that culture. But all Jamaicans are not Rastafarians. And then she go up here talking about she listened to Tupac and Snoop Dogg and she smoked weed. When she locked up men who didn't have nothing to do with people smoking weed, but if you stand next to a person who got a bag of weed, both of them going to jail, and you're going to get the same sentence as a person with a bag of weed in his pocket. But she talking about she smoked weed that sound cool. Then when she at a cookout, she liked to listen to Beyonce. We don't need to hear all that kind of stuff. She shows at the Essence Fest last week talking about, I want to make sure black people get a chance to own their own homes. Well, that's great, but your government that you're trying to lead, black people, American descendants of slaves, $10 trillion they got free labor off us. We don't want you to give us another program where you're going to loan us money. Give us the money that you owe us so we can buy our own homes.
But this thing goes to in terms of what are your interest in issues and concerns. Well, if you actually study Senator Kamala Harris, she hasn't, look at her whole career, she's never actually represented a...
Now listen to me. Roland Martin is going to go in defense of Senator Kamala Harris like he Willie Brown. See, Willie Brown got with Kamala Harris. Willie Brown even talked about his intimate relationship with Kamala Harris. Roland Martin act like he got some of that too. But I can see if you got some of that and it's that good and you ain't gonna let nobody talk about Kamala Harris. I mean, look, I've been in that position before. Certain ladies I done got with, boy. Yes, sir. And man, you run your mouth on them, man, I'm ready to knock you out. And we not even together no more. So I can get that. But man, don't go this hard. Come on, bruh. Don't go this hard for some lady that's not yours. Her husband is a white Jewish attorney. Oh, let me stop, because you're going to cuss us out for mentioning that her husband is a white Jewish attorney. Look, I don't give a crap if her husband was pink, Arabian attorney. I could care less. But if he's going to be in the White House as the first man pushing agendas like most first ladies do, I want to know how many of those going to be black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're Jewish. I don't care if you're attorney. But if you're in the White House and you're going to be pushing things to not only champion your wife's policies, but you're going to push your own policies, I want to know how many of them black. I don't want to hear nothing about black and brown. I don't want to hear nothing about the LGBTQ community and their rights. And I don't want to hear nothing. I mean, that's fine and dandy, but right now, we're talking about life and death in the black community. Things got to change. I mean, urgent. And that's why I'm always talking about that. And a lot of you people, I see you subscribe, but I thank God for every one of you who unsubscribe, because I start talking a lot about black issues. 10 more subscribe. I told you I don't get up here for subscription. I'm going to speak what I believe the truth, whether people subscribe or not. I was doing it when I had 3. I was doing it when I have 100. I'm doing it now there's 10,000. I'll do it when there's 50 and 100,000. I'm not changing.
Quote, black district. If you're a member of Congress and your district is 50, 55, 60, 65% black, okay, that's a whole different deal. But when you've been district attorney, when you've been, attorney general, when you've been, United States senator, it's a whole different deal in terms of who you represent. Then you have the people who are saying, well, she's claiming black, when actually that's not true. But let's break this thing down. So if you listen to the folks...
Hold up, Roland Martin. Hold up. Hold up, big boy. Hold up. Hold up. Hold it up, bro. Hold it up. There's multiple videos of her talking about her East Indian heritage and her proudness. Like I said, I want everybody to be proud of their culture. And I want to learn about everybody's culture because it can help me as an individual. Be proud of who you are. Don't be something as of convenience. I can see you in Japan. You're in Japan. You shopping in the Japanese grocery store. You blacker than black. You're gonna start speaking Japanese. You know why? Because most of the people in at that cash register and in the store is Japan. So you gotta lean over to that culture. Why? Because you live there and you gotta adapt there. But you're not trying to get nothing from those people. Personally. You just buying food. But that don't need to be happening in these elections where you figure, well, if I got to win the black base, I better be blacker than black, 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 black. No, you can still be your East Indian self and talk about the things you want to do for the black community. You don't have to lean on your 25% questionable black side to try to get black support. You don't have to do that. And that's what we're talking about, Doughboy. That's what we're talking about. Don't lean on your 25% trying to show us how down you are with black people. Just tell us what you're going to do for the black community. We don't need Hillary Clinton with her white self going down to South Carolina singing "I Feels No Ways Tied" when white people normally don't sing that song. That's a James Cleveland song. But why did she do that? Trying to get black support. Here I got a white woman from Chicago trying to talk like she's a black Southern black mama in the church singing "I Feel No Ways Tied," trying to get the black vote.
We have a march to finish. On this Lord's Day, let us say with one voice the words of James Cleveland's great freedom hymn. I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
We don't need that, man. Stop that. And you sit up here trying to protect her and cape her for doing that. That's why we're checking her card. Yeah, you pulling this black man, you pulling this black card, we need to see it because that is despicable and that's shameful. Let me keep going.
who are on the ADOS movement, they make the argument that, well, because she's not really from here, she doesn't have the interest of black people.
Bruh. Nobody says just because you're not from here, you don't have the interests of black people. You can be whiter than white, come from another country, and come here and be and really believe that black people should get their just due reward. You can really go in. I've seen white men give up their careers to go work and do and help out in the black community. People who used to be doctors in wealthy elite hospitals decide to give it all up and go open up clinics in the black neighborhood, free clinics. So nobody's saying that, Roland. Where you getting this stuff from? We're looking at her policies that are anti-black.
Okay. So please explain to me Clarence Thomas. He's from here. He doesn't have relatives.
Why you go talk about Clarence Thomas? You know what black people think about Clarence Thomas?
Immigrated from elsewhere. He's from rural Georgia. He can trace his lineage back to slavery.
Again, Roland, you just don't get it. It's not just about your slave lineage. Like I said, you need to keep your mouth on something that you have nothing to do with. If you're not American descendant of slaves, shut up about the ADOS movement. Focus on your own culture. That's how we help each other. Instead of you crapping on them guys, support it or move out the way. And if you in the Haitian community got an agenda that you want people to earn your vote on, it's our choice to support it or leave it alone. But I don't need to be crapping on the things that Haitians need most in the community. I mean, if you share it with me, I go out there and champion it with you. I'm down there with you. I'm not trying to lead it though. You guys got to lead that. But I'm with you. Why? Because you're black. And I want black people to get what they deserve. No matter where they come from, bruh. Get what you earned. Get what you deserve. Slaves in America earn the right to have just as much wealth as white people. Because white people did not build this country. They may have the blueprint, but they didn't build it. We did. There needs to be an equal level of equality when it comes to finances and everything else behind that in this country. So don't go to Clarence Thomas, because the bottom line, we know what he is. Everybody know Clarence Thomas is an American descendant slave, but we wouldn't trust Clarence Thomas to throw a rock over water because his policies and his views on the black community are not lifting up black communities. Matter of fact, they're anti-black, Roland, and that's what it boils down to. Again, we don't think about your color, Kamala Harris' color, until she decided to pull that card. And as far as ADOS, we have an agenda that we got to push. And whether you could be a ADOS in lineage, but that don't mean you're part of this movement.
So what do we say about him? See, the reason this is a dumb conversation, because I can...
You the one having to talk, bro. We ain't talking with you. We don't care what you got to say, man. You can take your tongue, pull it out, roll it up and knot it up and throw it right back in the back of your throat, because we don't care what you got to say. The only reason I'm going through this right now is because you're crapping on us, and we're not. Look, you clap on us, you need to be clapped back, bro. You the one doing this. Nobody's bothering you. You the one putting your mouth on this. Has nothing to do with you. It's like Julian Castro trying to, they're going to get him to comment on black issues. Dude, you Latino, shut up. You don't need to be talking about black issues. You Latino. And I don't need to be talking about Latino issues because I'm not Latino. Stay in your lane.
Show you somebody who is not from here, but who fought on behalf of black people. Y'all ever heard of Shirley Chisholm?
Here you go with the rolling of the names. I guess that's why they call you Roland Martin, because you love to roll the name of all the immigrants that came here and build America during the Jim Crow era. Shirley Chisholm, yeah, we heard of Shirley Chisholm. We heard of Malcolm X. We heard of Marcus Garvey. We heard of Harry Belafonte. We heard of all these people. Yeah, and we appreciate them, and we thank them, and we thank God for the contribution they done. Some of them went through some hell. Some of them literally died. Malcolm X got killed by his own kind, they say. Now, we don't know whether the FBI killed Malcolm X or the Nation of Islam killed Malcolm X. Either way, he was killed. Black people did turn on Malcolm X in his religion. Why? Because he started going in the direction. Sound like you, Roland. You literally killing ADOS leaders because they're not doing it the way you think they should do it. It's the same thing with Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam being accused for killing Malcolm X because he decided to go his own way. Black Americans that descend from slaves decide to do their own thing, and you mad because you can't be a part of that. And they won't let you. And they give you the reasons why. You could be a part, you could support, but you're not leading it. Why? Because you're not an American descendant of slaves. You still yet to go through this whole interview. Do you have people in your family that trace back to American slave ownership? That is what this ADOS thing is all about. And if you do, the federal government owe you for the free labor that your ancestors built this country on. This country got wealthy. It became the envy of the world. It has become known as the American dream off the backs of black slaves in America. So you can name up all the immigrants. That is an old song, man. You keep naming these people as if we don't appreciate them. What the hell we look like not appreciating these people? They still are brothers and sisters. They still black, and they were apologetically black. They're not trying to pander to get support. They told you why they was out there marching. They told you why they was out there protesting. They told you why they was out there making speeches. They told you why they was rallying together. They told you why they was blocking this and stopping this. And the demonstration, that was all we need. They demonstrated stuff that Malcolm X had to go through. Them trying to kill his family. Him being paranoid. Not just from the white society, but from his own Nation of Islam brothers. So you don't have to keep naming these names, but that still has nothing to do with Kamala Harris and anybody that decides that they want to run on a black card, and you look at their record, everything they done is anti-black. Well, at least the majority of it. On purpose, put fear in the hearts of black people in San Francisco and Oakland, and in the state of California. Bruh.
Now let me compare Shirley Chisholm, Clarence Thomas. Shirley Chisholm's people are where from? Barbados?
See, this is a whole problem with Roland Martin. He's making this about an immigrant issue. He want to keep the genders on just everybody black. In some cases, Roland, your community has to do things for their community. And yeah, we could come together as a whole as blacks, but there's certain things I can't demand for your community, and I'm not part of your community. I don't know your demands. You can share it with me, and I can support you in it. But to share it with me and tell you what you're doing is wrong and you stupid and all that kind of stuff, what kind of fool am I? Especially when I'm not part of that culture. What I look like letting the white man trying to tell me what to do when it comes to black, black people. Until that man got a track record of helping out black people, he can't tell me nothing. So stop comparing Shirley Chisholm to that. Now you talking about asinine dumb? That's dumb. He's trying to compare Shirley Chisholm to Clarence Thomas, and nobody in ADOS could care less about that mess.
Not from here. Clarence Thomas is from here. There's an ideological difference.
Yeah, it do got a lot to do with the ideological differences. But you trying to make it, you the one bringing up the immigration part. Stick with the ideological differences, because that's what we're really looking at with Kamala Harris. So why don't you go talk to her, just like you try to get some advice to Senator Sanders, and you try to give some advice to Joe Biden in your previous video. Why don't you give some advice to Kamala Harris and tell her stop doing that? No, you think that if she talks about that more, she can get the black votes. No, stop it. If you want to get the black vote, you apologize for how you treated black people in California, and you make amends. You admit that you was wrong, you admit that it was horrible, and you're not going to do nothing like that no more, and come up with a black agenda. Simple, Roland Martin. Your eyes looking all cross-eyed. Simple. Still not going to get the black vote, but at least try.
So if you are studying different people, there are people who have ideological differences. Now, why am I also calling these folks out? Because this black purity test, again, is dumb.
Well, I'm calling you out, bruh. And the black purity test, again, is one of the smartest things that we people as black people have done in a long time. No, this not having a purity test, just let any old stupid politician that claim color and you telling us to go support them, now that's stupid. Of course, we're going to check their purity. And when we mean purity, we don't mean color. You making it about color. She's making it about color. We making it about a record. Now, when it comes to trying to lead ADOS issues and you're not ADOS, no, she need be quiet. You're not part of that, don't touch it. Don't try to lead in that. But if you want the ADOS vote, they have an agenda, and you need to make concessions, or you're not going to get that vote.
Because we've seen it before. You know what we've seen before? When we question black people who grew up in the suburbs. See, again, if y'all want to have this discussion about, well, who's ADOS and whose people can trace their lineage back, well, what happens then when we get somebody black who grew up in the suburbs? And black people say, well, you're not really black. Y'all know that happens, right? So what do we say then? What do we then say to somebody who's black, who's ADOS, who can trace their history back, but they went to all white schools and they don't necessarily have the same perspective as other folks who are down?
Let me tell you something, bro. It don't matter if they are ADOS and they went to a white school, they still ADOS. We may not agree, but the whole point of the ADOS agenda, it ain't about who's down and who's more black with the ADOS agenda. It's about American descendants of slaves getting a just due reward. And we don't need anybody trying to claim that they're part of that community and they're not part of that community. We don't care about your ideology when it comes to us pushing that, because there's some ADOSs that's not pushing for reparation and could care less about a black agenda, but they're still American descendants of slaves. Now you got to separate the ADOS lineage from the ADOS movement, bruh, because everybody that has ADOS lineage is not part of the ADOS movement. They're not coming together as one to push an ADOS agenda. It's just like you got a lot of black people rolling that's not ADOS, since you want to bring their name up. You got a lot of black people, even some people in your community, that were Trump supporters. Come on, bro. Everybody in the community that you profess may not, you're going to have difference of opinions. You're going to have difference of ideology. In the black community, you're going to have different, but that did not take away the fact that you're not black. You're going to have different people in the American descendants of slaves community that's not going to agree with the ADOS movement for a black agenda, tangibles, and reparation. But that don't change the fact that they ADOS. So what you thinking? When it comes to ADOS should not support, ADOS need to just throw away their agenda and stick with the overall being down black agenda? Let me tell you something. There's too many black people that run for office and don't even promote a black agenda. But they say they was down with us, Roland. They say they was down.
See, I love these folks who hit me on Twitter and hit me on Facebook and hit me on Instagram and, oh, Roland, you don't really believe this, when I've been on the front lines while a bunch of y'all been playing video games. And now all of a sudden...
See, here's the problem right here. Anytime somebody got to keep talking about what they done in the past, that's an insecure person. See, I've moved away from John Lewis and I was attacked on the Edmund Pettus Bridge and I got hit with a rock. That was noble. But the moment he started caping for Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who rigged the 2016 election, rigged her own election, and he went out there to support her, he just spit on all that he did. The walking across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, to being attacked by white supremacists and segregationists, to get hit in the head with a brick. He built his whole career off that. Yet here he is in his latter years gonna do some dumb crap like help get elected somebody who known for cheating in the election instead of supporting somebody who was all about election purity. He chose to support Debbie Wasserman Schultz because she's friends with Hillary Clinton instead of supporting Tim Canova. All because that was Master Hillary's friend. You know Master Hillary, Roland Martin, the one that you were dancing with, telling her if you learn how to do this dance, you're going to get the black vote, and you sitting up there dancing with her? Yeah, her. Mighty funny you don't crap on her, but you're going to crap on ADOS people. Now, you're black in color, but that is not a black thing to do.
Sudden you woke because your ass been asleep, while those of us have been awake for a very long time.
Now you sound like the old people in church who get pissed off because the new younger kids in church are cool with their church presentation, and they getting a lot of young people to come to church, and in time they're gonna overlap you older people. See, I know I was a youth leader at my church, and the youth leadership started to grow. And if we would have kept with our same mentality, our same strategy, we would have had more youth in that service than the amount of people in the main service. And that wasn't nothing against the pastor. It's just the way some things I learned about reaching out to kids. And I learned them from my pastor sending me to an organization that taught me how to reach the kids. So that was opened by my pastor, and that was a plan from my pastor to come up with a way to get the kids off the streets into the church to do some cool stuff and learn about Jesus the cool way. You sound like those old people that don't like the way the younger generation is doing, son, and with the pants hanging down, you pull your pants up. My pants up. Roland, what you fail to realize that these younger generations, yeah, they probably were playing their games, but yet they on YouTube, they checking people's record. Yeah, they're out there marching too. Yet they're out there with Black Lives Matter. They're out there protesting when one of their own get killed. So don't be crapping on these people who you claim was asleep but now woke. I've been woke for years. I always want to bring it back to what you've been doing. Why? Why you always bringing it back to what you've been doing? Because you are mad because they're doing something that you haven't done, and they won't let you lead them in that. And they're not going to turn around and do it your way, and you're mad.
If you want to question a person's policies, that's fine. When you start playing this game of blackness and what do they claim?
First of all, we are questioning the policies. That's why we're not feeling her. But for her to come and start pulling these cards. See, what you fail to realize, Roland, this is nothing that we asked for. She decided to do this. We don't want to know about her blackness, bruh. You want us to know about her blackness. We don't want to know about her blackness, man. We can see, right now I see you blacker than black, but so was Stephen on Django Unchained. Black don't mean anything, man. It's how much you care about black people. What are you willing to do for black people? Are you willing to lay down your career? Give it up for the cause of black people. You should be familiar with that. Because it seems like you take every opportunity you can to dump on black people instead of lifting them up. Because right now, what you're doing, you think you're dumping on ADOS when you're really dumping on yourself because you look like a damn fool doing it. And I'm telling you, you need to stop. It's not going to work. You're not going to shame somebody into turning around and doing it your way. They're going to have their own thing. It's going to grow. And you're going to look like the dumb, stupid kid that just mad because the team got picked and they didn't pick you.
Then you got dumbass Boyce Watkins, who then says, how did Kamala Harris go to an HBCU and bury a white man? As if you ain't never seen. But see, the real deal is that the only reason Boyce did that because he's an attention whore and he wants folks talking about him.
Whoa. You gonna call Boyce Watkins an attention whore?
Tell me he didn't just say that.
When you on every mainstream white corporate white media and you calling him an attention whore? Really? Roland Martin got the nerve to call somebody an attention whore? Dude, what you're doing right now is one of the biggest attention grabbers in history. The best attention getters is those who crap on black people who crap on black people. You're going full Jesse Lee Peterson up here.
Amazing!
Those are the attention grabbers. And you got the nerve talk about Boyce Watkins. Now look, I'm not a fan. I don't watch Boyce Watkins, and he got his own thing with his black school and all that, with the Cheeto on it, the leopard, black pen, whatever. I'm not a Boyce Watkins guy. But Boyce Watkins have a point, though, boy. A point. She goes to HBCU. Mind you, people. Going to a historic black college don't make you black. There's a lot of white kids who go to historic black colleges and they got the honorary black thing going on, which means black people decide to call them black when they're really not black. They're still white, and you push some of them too hard. So going to HBCU don't make you black. Being born from black parents make you black, but being a black politician and claiming to be a black politician entails that you're going to invoke or you're going to legislate black policies to help black people, not hurt. Another thing, Boyce Watkins do have a point that if you're going to be running for office, you go and marry a white Jewish lawyer, entertainment lawyer, which is your prerogative. Because people fall in love with various people. That's, I've had white girlfriends in the past, Vietnamese, you name it. I'm more prone to my black sisters, but I've went out and dated other cultures too. And I know my black people up here going, Rob, look, I'm not racist, man. Okay, and I try to look at people. Look, let me tell you something. He mentioned Harry Belafonte and all these people that were mixed or from other countries and things like that. That has nothing to do with whether you can legislate for black people or not. My whole point with Kamala Harris' husband is, if she get elected, he's the first man. And as first man, he has the ability to legislate policies and come up with agendas and try to move Congress to move on those agendas. That's what Hillary Clinton did with Bill Clinton. So he has some power. My thing is, all right, you were married to Kamala Harris. She's claiming that she's black. If she don't push black policies, are you going to push her to push black policies? If not, then you are no interest to us black people. It's just, you're going to hurt the situation more than help. So yeah, you got a right to say something about that, Roland. And that's the key. He can be put in a position to either harm the black community more or help. We don't know. Now, there's a history that oftentimes white society hurt black people more than help. I'm just saying.
That's why he did it. Yeah, I went ahead and said it. Okay? And so that's what
And yeah, I'm saying it too. You're a bigger attention whore than he is. Here's proof. You can go on national TV, you can go on Fox, you can go on CNBC and MSNBC, and you don't mind dumping on black people all day like you're doing right now. Thinking that you're going to whip them back up, whip them back into shape to be more like you. Nobody wants to be like you, Roland. Nobody wants to be like you. You're turning into what people call a coon. You're cooning for the Democratic Party, you're cooning for Hillary Clinton, and now you're cooning for Kamala Harris. You can coon for black people who claim to be black.
you're dealing with there. The problem with all of this is it's a stupid conversation.
Why
yes,
is it
it's stupid.
Why?
Eric Holder, first black attorney general.
Yeah, and did nothing about policing in America, and he was the chief police, brah. He had the authority to make sure every police department had a body cam. You didn't have to go through a bunch of legislation to get it done. He could have went to the president, and the president could have made a mandatory executive order. He didn't prosecute hard enough for these police officers to be investigated within a certain amount of time for killing black people. So you going to the worst of the worst, bruh. You went from great to worse. I'm not a fan of Eric Holder. Met the guy. Not a fan of Eric Holder. See, you're on a whole different. You think we're doing this for these particular reasons. You're coming up with some of the dumb, acid-minded, stupidest. Your talking points are dumb, Roland. This has nothing to do with none of that. ADOS is all about American descendants of slaves, those who can be traced back to slave lineage. If you and your family lineage built this country and helped make this country prosperous, the envy of the world, to the point that it's an American dream that people come from all over the world to come here to prosper, and they're prospering, and you the one made it possible for that to happen off free labor, then you owe a recompense, a just due reward. It's owed to you. And you, I believe, is upset that they're demanding it. And it could cost you what you want in legislations. That's what I think it is, Roland. We ain't talking about Shirley Chisholm and all that. We know what they did. We're not even talking about Eric, man, don't hold them to their feet to the fire. We're not talking about Eric Man Holder. You talking about that. That is far beyond our mind. We know what immigrants have done in America, and we're not discounting what they've done to America. We know what they're doing now to make America better. We're not discounting that. This has nothing to do with nobody but American descendants of slaves. and you are an immigrant that was born in America, sure you're a black American, but your lineage is immigrants tracing all the way back to Haiti, and you mad because this agenda is so big and so on point, and they're making huge demands, and they're gonna make that demand with a no vote, and you are mad because you fear that it's gonna mess up something you got going on. It's just like with the Bernie Sanders voter who's saying, man, if we don't get the black vote, how Bernie gonna become president? This ain't got nothing to do with Bernie. This ain't got nothing to do with you, Roland. This ain't got nothing to do with nobody but these people who are tired and fed up because we keep voting you people in and you're not getting a black agenda. And yes, our agenda ultimately helps other black people. But for this one thing on reparations, that is strictly for American descendants of slaves. Any other policies that's going to come from that, that's going to end up benefit all black people, all in America, including you, doughboy. But this has nothing to do with you, bruh, and you mad about this.
Okay?
No,
sitting here right now, working on the campaign, dealing with partisan gerrymandering. Where his folks from? Barbados.
And we don't care. Go to the next one.
General Colin Powell.
He going worse. He the one who helped us get in the freaking war where we still got troops over there, and we still in billions and trillions of dollars on a dumb war when that money could have been paid in reparation, bruh. Come on now. Who you think did that? Colin Powell.
Where his folks from?
Don't give a crap.
Yep, West Indies.
Don't give a crap. He signed off for a war. They killed a lot of black soldiers, and that it was a wasted war, and that money could have went to the black community. Yeah, him.
Harry Belafonte. Where his folks from?
Harry Belafonte, great activist, good singer, done a lot of things for civil rights. Nobody discounting that. That ain't got nothing to do with ADOS stock. That ain't got nothing to do with reparations. Again, either you're going to get on this train and support or get your butt off. This had nothing to do with you.
Again, Malcolm X, Mama from Grenada.
Has nothing to do with what we're doing, Roland. So why are you bringing that up? Nothing to do with what we're doing. Has nothing to do with it. We appreciate them. We love them. They're our heroes. But it has nothing to do with what we're doing right now.
Do y'all even
have them people dead, bro, and you're bringing them out? Dead, D-A-A-D, and you bring up old dead people that can't do nothing for us right now.
understand we can go down the lines of a lot of black people?
And do you understand we can go down the same lines that you're going down and still got nothing to do with what's going on over here? Do you understand? And it's not going to have anything going on. The best thing you can do is support or get away from us on this issue of reparations and a concrete black agenda. We're doing something that some people don't even have the balls to do. Say, I'm not going to vote for you until you give us what we want. See, the progressives, Roland, they're telling any of these politicians that if you don't support Medicare for all, you can forget about us. And guess what all of them doing? They support Medicare for all in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Yes, bro. They made a demand, and they're forcing most of them to go with their demands. The progressives did that. So the black American descendants of slaves said, we're going to do the same thing. We got a huge wealth gap. We know a way to close it. Give us what you owe us. And if you don't give us that, if you don't give us some tangibles, if you don't give us a concrete black agenda, which ultimately helps all black, but when it comes to this reparation stuff, American descendants of slaves only, if you don't give us that, forget about our vote. And that scares you because you need their vote. You need it. We'll rather die and not give a vote to a politician not going to do anything.
Who have been on the front lines in this country, fighting on behalf of black people, who are not pure Black people.
Bernie supporter too.
That's what this thing
The
is
guy
about.
you hate.
This literally is a black purity test. And it's stupid. It's really stupid.
What is a black purity test, Roland? And what is stupid about a black purity test? First of all, there's no black purity test. It's all about your policies. But let me change this. There's a purity test, and it's not all black. It's just a purity test. If you're not going to support people pushing policies that's really going to help people, progressives not going to support you. And they're not going to go by what you said. They're going to, well, we're saying right now, no black agenda, no vote. Something you should be saying. That's a purity test. If you don't have a black agenda, get out in my face. You're not getting my vote. If you're not willing to support reparations in the form of the first phase of it is a check to the tune of at least 10 trillion. We got people who already studied. We got people who know exactly how to implement it, and you need to get with them. And if you're gonna blow that off, I don't care who you are. You can be Tulsi Gabbard, you can be Bernie Sanders, you can be Kamala Harris, you can be anybody in the party. You're not gonna get that vote. It's the same thing as Medicare for all. Yes, it's a purity test. So no, it's called smart politicking. Only a dumbass will sit there and keep voting for people who ain't gonna do nothing for them. Only a dumbass.
And then some of y'all say, well, no, we're not questioning her blackness. Yes, you are.
I am. I'm questioning. I'm only questioning when she pulling, and she pull it too many times. And whether you like it or not, Roland, whether you like it or not, this is fact. Kamala Harris is interracial. Her daddy is not black. Her daddy is biracial. He's half black, so they say, and half Scot-Irish descent. Her mom is full-blooded East Indian, so that make her interracial. She's probably got about 25% of black in her. But the one-drop rule don't work no more, Roland. That was a tool white supremacy used to verify locking up and selling more slaves. Now, are we in that period anymore? No. So why are black people using that 1% rule? I give her 25% black, but she also have 25% Scot-Irish, but most of her lineage is East Indian. And she need to stick with that story about being interracial. Barack Obama didn't too much talk about being a black president. He would say people look like me, and he always talk about his white mama and his black daddy. And she need to be more specific on her saying Jamaican, because Jamaican come in all colors. So yeah, there is a purity test on policies, and we're telling her to stop pulling that card, because most people don't care about her black card. We care about what you did to the culture that you claim to represent. And what she did was horrible.
Game, recognize game.
You don't recognize
game. We've seen
game.
this when people have questioned.
Bruh, you ain't got no game. You don't recognize game. Because she's gaming you. And you think you gonna game us, and we ain't gonna be playing your games. And that's why you're mad. We're not listening to you. Most people are not listening. I listen to you because I know you're about to say something dumb and stupid. I know you're about to dump on black people anytime, any of the day, especially black men. You ain't gonna dump on black women because your wife ain't gonna have that. But you don't mind dumping on black men at the expense of white people to make yourself look good in front of white people. Just like Steven, willing to sell out your own kind so you can stay in the big house.
Them motherfuckers ain't here to buy no mandingos. They wants that girl.
Steven, what the hell are you talking about?
They playing your ass for a fool, is what I'm talking about. They ain't here for no muscle-bound Jimmy. They here for that girl.
Those lying, goddamn time wasting sons of bitches. Sons of bitches!
See, we know the old deal.
No, I can see you're not really black based on your policies that you implemented. Anytime I saw a black person intentionally trying to hurt another black person, I question you're playing white into white supremacist hands. I will question you. I will check you on that. Right now, I want to question you on your blackness, Roland, because you're dumping on black men. You're betraying your own race, bro, by pissing on them.
You didn't grow up in the hood. But what the hell is the hood? I grew up in a black neighborhood.
Look, Roland, if she tried to act like she grew up the hood and she didn't, what do you call that? That's called pandering. You don't think she don't need to be checked on that? She need to be checked the hell on that.
Oh, we wasn't a project, but it was an all-black neighborhood. In fact, it was the first master plan, one of the first master plan black communities by the racist Department of Housing and Urban Development in the 1940s. Yeah, real black. That's what I grew up in. Clinton Park.
What does this have to do with ADOS? Question, Roland. What does this have to do with ADOS? What did it have to do with the black agenda and reparations? What does this have to do with Marcus Garvey and all them?
Park in Houston. Okay, so does that make me fully black? And what?
Bruh, you can be black and still act like you white. You can be black and be a bougie as I don't know what. There's a lot, as you said earlier, there's a lot of black people who act like they're not black. They consider themselves more with the white crowd. You got black women who marry white men but look down on their black families. Are you mad at them, Roland?
Is fully black. Does it mean having a mama and daddy in the house or coming from a single parent home? Do you see how this is stupid?
Do you see how this whole thing you're doing is stupid? It's stupid.
See how this is nonsensical?
See how what you're doing is nonsensical? You're not making sense. I don't know where you come with all this stuff. Black people are not going to buy Kamala Harris. Number one, because she pushed policies that hurt black people. So that question, her commitment to black upliftment, because most of her policies did not lift up black people, and if it did, she used fear to do it. That's what most people checking her on. The only time they checking her on is when she tried to act like she's black. When you know you're come from a highly well-educated family, and you pretty much put yourself in book knowledge, and that's the way you carried yourself, and you live your life as an East Indian woman most of your life because you was under the tutelage of your East Indian mother, because your dad left you at age 7 to live another life, and you grew up under East Indian culture. Why? Because you're 50% East Indian, 25% Scott Irish, 25% Jamaica, and God knows how what mixture that mixture is. Roland.
When we are literally spending time on that nonsense as opposed to the actual issues that impact us.
Roland, what planet are you on? Most people are not spending time. ADOS is not spending time on that. You want to make it seem like they're spending time on that so you can get the eyes glued back on you so everybody can be on your side saying you're right. And you got it totally wrong, dope boy. Totally wrong. ADOS don't care nothing about that. If you ever listen to the leaders of ADOS, they always talk about the things that Kamala Harris did as district attorney, as prosecutor, as attorney general, and as senator. and how she's just copying Bernie Sanders, the man that you always pointing your finger at. She's copying everything he's done to get his voters. She's a panderer in chief. She's trying to be like Bernie to try to take up some of his voters. She's trying to sound like Barack Obama, trying to get the black vote. One moment they're saying she's the first Asian and Jamaican, and then the next minute, they're just saying she's the first black attorney general. What happened to the Asian and Jamaican? That's what we're talking about. Again, we go back to agenda. Her agenda is anti-black. She's done more kissing up, sucking up, licking up, sticking up to white, rich donors to her campaign. Why are you crying? It look like you're crying, man. Don't cry. Yeah. She let off more white criminals, yet black men and women who done some of the pettiest, dumb, absent-minded, stupidest things, as you like to say, giving them mandatory minimums on something that's stealing some steaks. Sure, you need to be jailed, but you don't need to be put in prison. I'm standing next to my homeboy. He got a bag of weed. I don't even know it. Had I known it, I would have told him, let's go smoke it before the cops come. I'm standing next to him. He got a bag of weed. They stopped both of us. Search my pockets, nothing in there. Search his pocket, weed in there. We both go to jail and get the same time. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. And half of the CBC. Your friends signed off for that mess. You can go ahead and cry all you want, man. I see the face. All right, let's get it out.
And then I had somebody tell me, well, this is the year return where you can go back. For all y'all people who don't know a damn thing about what's happening in the world, 7 of the 10 fastest growing economies in the world right now are in Africa. 7 out of 10.
And we know that, bro. What they got to do with ADOS? This whole interview, this whole Roland dismantle stupid black purity test, use the question synagogue. This should be renamed Roland looking stupid talking about black purity test. Because you're looking stupid. This whole conversation, this whole piece is stupid. I feel even stupider trying to listen to you on this mess.
Now, black folks been saying forever, oh, we would love to be able to go back to the motherland, have relationships. So why are we creating dissension by trashing folks who are from black countries like Jamaica, Haiti?
Nobody's creating dissension overall. We're saying when it comes to ADOS, in the movement of ADOS, this is strictly, you know, remember the song Strictly for the Players? This is strictly for those people who are linked to the lineage of American descendants of slaves. American descendants of slaves, which means if you were a slave in America and you end up doing free labor to help make this country prosperous and wealthy, to make it the envy of the world, and you went through that nightmare of 300, 400 years of slavery, whether it's on the cotton fields or whether it's in the prisons, you deserve recompense reward. That's the first step in the black agenda of ADOS. All this other stuff you're talking about, Roland, is just bull stuff coming out your mouth, and you don't even know what you're talking about, man. I'm trying to be soft tone. I can go off too, just like you going off. But I was told when a fool is arguing on the same level as another fool, when somebody walk by, they don't know. When a smart man is arguing on the same level of a fool, at this, somebody walk by, they don't know who's the fool.
Bermuda, African nations, because we want to say, no, but you're not pure black. You're not from here. That's not really.
Who is saying that? ADOS is not saying that. They're just saying that when it comes to their particular agenda, bro. Has nothing to do with none of this other stuff you're talking about. None of it. None of the stuff you're talking about has nothing to do with the ADOS and the ADOS movement. The ADOS is strictly going to the federal government telling you we want reparations to close our wealth gap. We want to invest in our own communities, and that's just the beginning. Yeah, we want a check to start off with. Take 10 million for 1 year and give it to every descendant of slaves. 10 trillion, and give it to every descendant of slaves right now so they can buy their own house, so they can boost this economy and close some of that wealth gap. Make investment. Maybe take some of that money and go to Africa like you're talking about. You know how much that's a lot of money to be spent and made in Africa, Roland. Most folks can't even go to Africa because we've been marginalized financially. All this other stuff you talk about has nothing to do with the people that you hate right now, ADOS. Because most of the thing that ADOS, when it comes to talking about purity, is you calling yourself an ADOS.
Really, your interest. It doesn't make any sense to me.
And you don't make any sense to me bringing up all these things, Africa and immigration and black immigration. It doesn't make sense. And who done it? But that has nothing to do with Kamala Harris and her horrible policies as Attorney General, prosecutor, DA. Has nothing to do with it. If she's black, she should have been pushing not to implement the policies to hurt her own people. But most of her life, Kamala Harris identified herself as majority East Indian. Most of the people she grew up all her life never saw her black daddy, so-called black daddy. I say biracial. He was gone, back to Jamaica. All they saw were her and her Indian mother. So if she was discriminated, it was from the East Indian end, not her black end. The black end was gone. It wasn't that much anyway, Roland. It's about 25% of her heritage, if that. So nobody's really banking everything on that. It's your anti-black policies, and that's why folks ain't voting for you, because your policies in the past have been anti-black, and we ain't trusting you in the future to implement those same policies. So we use our policies also to determine, your policies to determine whether you're for the black community or not. And you can be blacker than the black midnight, you can be Bernie Mac black, CO black, and you pushing white supremacist policies. In our book, you're only black in color, but you're not black in culture.
Be no part of this damn debate.
You need to stay out of this debate. You don't need to be a part of this debate, because we're not debating. You're the one debating. Nobody listening. Nobody's trying to debate you, Roland. You know why? Because you're not part of this. Stay out of it. Stay out of it, bro. Stay out of it.
If you want to challenge Senator Kamala Harris on issues, go right ahead.
We are.
You want to challenge Senator Cory Booker on his issues, go right ahead.
And we are.
No problem. But to literally be sitting here and having a dumbass discussion about blackness, that to me is trifling.
No, you're trifling. What's trifling is you using that black card to try to gain votes. So what's smart is calling you out and calling you trifling for using. How are you going to say it's trifling for somebody to challenge her on that and not say it's trifling for you to be using that to gain votes? Because you know that's exactly what she's doing. You doing it right now with that dumb shirt you got on. Sororities is nothing but a black elite society that you're part of, and you sure trying to represent it. It's another plantation. You're in the house with that shirt. Regular people like me are on the field. So you figure you can put that on to show that you Stephen and we are the field Negroes. Well, the field Negroes are revolting, Stephen, and guess who's going to be one of the first ones to get knocked out the box? You. Stay out our way. Stay out our way.
It is trifling.
You're
And the
trifling.
last point before I go to my panel.
I'm not going through that panel because, folks, the panel sit here and do all that same BS trying to appease the Roland Martin. And that other lady, y'all can watch this on your own. She is just as ridiculous, too.
If you one of those folks who are sitting here and you're tweeting, you're talking, and you're saying, oh, if they don't do this, I'm not going to vote, you are dumb as hell.
And that's what it comes down to. Roland Martin is really scared that a certain segment of blacks are not going to support Democrats, especially black Democrats. He's using his Stephen powers to try to manipulate and control the black people on the field. See, oftentimes Stephen was, Mr. Kennedy, I like to use this movie because it let me see who really are the sellouts. When Mr. Kennedy is gone, guess who runs the plantation? Not another white, because those slaves are not familiar with that other white, and they're not familiar with the fear of disobeying that white. So what Mr. Kennedy got was the head Negro in charge, Stephen. His job is to make sure order is maintained on the plantation and in the field. And right now, that is Roland's job. His job is to maintain the democratic order. His job is to maintain trying to move sellout blacks, black people who have not done nothing in your interest for a long time, to keep them there. Me personally, I'm going not. If I voted for you, if you're not doing nothing this year, Roland, and that is part of our strategy, whether you like it or not. You call it dumb when it's actually smart. I know what you're gonna say next about the judges and all that. Matter of fact, let me let you say it and I'll finish my point.
Donald Trump has already appointed more than 120 judges to the federal bench.
And guess who allowed that to happen? Chuck Schumer, one of your friends, your white Democratic buddies. Another person you'll probably dance for on the stage too. Another Hillary Clinton buddy, your master, Hillary Clinton. He fast-tracked a lot of those judges. A white Democrat. Bruh. Who you think had a chance to prosecute Steve Mnuchin when he fought at all those people in California while she was Attorney General? No, she didn't prosecute them. She didn't give him a slap on the wrist. She let him go. And she ended up getting a campaign donation on the side. But yet, Pretty Ricky over here, who happened to be standing with his homeboy Chuck at the grocery store, Chuck got weed in his pocket, both of them go to jail, and Pretty Ricky didn't even know it. And they end up getting the mandatory minimum. Don't come with this mess, man. Let me see what else BS you're going to say.
More than likely, the Republicans will confirm another 40 to 50 before the election in 2020.
Yeah, they'll confirm it. Yet you still got Democrats that's also questioning it, and they helping them confirm it. They can't do all this stuff on their own, Roland. That's why I say the most important thing is not just Trump. You got to maintain that House and Senate. And if you don't want Trump, if you in office, and you don't want the Republicans to get the House back, then you better listen to, you better encourage every last one of them politicians that you know personally. You better have a chit chat with them. You better talk with them and tell them. That's why I say you need to either join us or get the hell out of our way, because we're not listening to you. You can go somewhere and stick it up your behind, turn it sideways, as Rock say, and stick it up your behind, because they moving forward, marching on, and people are joining this movement every day by the droves. They're getting more attention than you're ever getting. And it ain't about being an attention whore when you're on every news media kissing the behind of white interests, dumping on your black interests. Your vote is too valuable to just give it to people. So you go tell your buddies, if they want the black vote, they're going to have to give us some concessions. And I know they don't like it, and I know it might sound divisive, but that's just what you got to get if you want this vote. You want it? Come get it.
That means if you sit your stupid ass at home.
No, that means if you keep voting your stupid ass for these dumb, stupid ass politicians who are not doing nothing for your dumb, stupid ass, then you're a dumb, stupid ass fool.
Man, sit your ass down.
Now, I'm going to get in trouble for airing this because I don't cuss, man, but this dude, man, this dude right here.
And don't vote. And literally give him another 4 years. That means that he will more than likely appoint another 250 to 300 federal judges to the bench. Right now, he's already appointed upwards of 20.
All right, so we're almost done here. You know what you remind me of, Roland? You remind me for the fact that Bernie Sanders knew exactly what that crime bill was going to do to the black community. Yet he came up for excuses to vote for it. Voted for it anyway, and look what it did to the black community. Had he and other people stood strong and said, we're not going to do that to the black community, we wouldn't have Kamala Harris doing the stupid stuff that she did as law enforcement, voted law enforcement officer. Do you understand, Roland Martin? If we go out there and vote without making demands, like you used to doing, which is one of the dumbest, stupid, asinine thing anybody can do right now, especially of color, when you're going down in wealth, you're going down in the ability to prosper in America, and everybody else is going up. For you to continue to vote for these people ain't gonna do nothing for you when you elect them in the office again and again and again. That's dumb and stupid and asinine. Which one is more important to me and a lot of other black people? I don't give a damn about Trump. See, if we had a House and Senate, if we at least had the Senate intact, we could stop Trump from doing whatever he's doing. But a lot of things that Trump been doing, he could not do without the Democrats giving him support. They approved Steve Mnuchin and a lot of other people in these different departments in Trump cabinet. Democrats gave them the go-ahead. Cory Booker gave the go-ahead to Betsy DeVos. Cory Booker. Black man running for president, Doc, who's trying to decimate the educational system, but yet he lending his vote. Elizabeth Warren lending her vote. Kamala Harris lending her vote. So you don't tell me what Trump can do when the Democrats are helping Trump to do it. We know the Republicans going to help, but you got the Democratic side, but you want us to vote for them. No, we ain't voting for Jack. And like I said before, you knowing that these things can happen, meaning you better stop buck dancing and you better start going to these freaking politicians and letting them know what's about to go down. Let them know that the storm of no votes are coming. Because we need to put that fear in their heart. Like you got a Trump, our fear of not voting should be more fearful than the fear of Trump getting another 4 years. If you're scared of another 4 years of Trump, more judges, if you're really scared of that, then you better do whatever you need to do to secure the black vote. Whatever you need to do. Stop all this downgrading black people and the possibility that they may not vote. Stop dumping on that. That is a strategic plot, a plan to get what need to be done in the black community. We're not playing around. We're not going to keep being fooled over and over again. That stuff stopped. It stopped in 2016. When your party, including your dumb butt yourself, sat there and cheated to try to get Hillary into office. You yourself sitting up there reading her debate questions that was already prepped for her to know about. You. That was dumb and asinine. Trying to kiss up to Hillary Clinton. So no, if you are scared of Trump, if you really are fearful of Trump getting more judges, Trump getting another 4 years, Republicans possibly catching the House back, and he getting all 3 senses of power in Washington, then you better go out there and you better side with ADOS and make this thing real to your buddies, because the storm of no votes is coming, and there's only one way to stop it. Give us what we deserve and give us what we're demanding.
50% of appellate judges. Now, we're almost 70. But some of y'all are sitting here and you're saying, I'm not gonna vote. It makes no sense. Nah, what makes no sense.
No, nobody's saying that, Roland. Let me let you say what you're gonna say, and then I'll holler back at you.
It's some of the rhetoric coming from you. And let me be real clear. Y'all can sit here and tweet me. Y'all can sit here and cuss me out. And I really don't give a damn. Y'all can sit here and try to question my blackness. And you know what? I just quote Della Reese from Hall Night. Kiss my entire ass. This is dumb. And because there are people who are not from this country who have fought along with, besides folks who are from this country, because they said the African diaspora is important. And oh, by the way, if you sitting here want to talk all this smack, then you want to dog folks who are not purely black, well, damn it, stop quoting the slave uprising in Haiti, the first successful slave revolt in the Western Hemisphere. Well, then stop quoting other individuals who are not from here, because all you're doing is embarrassing yourselves, and you really have no understanding of black history. And when I say black history, yeah, black history. History here and in other black countries.
All right, so since you made that last statement, chocolate legs. So with them legs, man. Well, you sure use a pound of cocoa butter on that, but let's go ahead. First of all, again, Roland. ADOS has decided to do something for themselves. Something that you and the rest of all of us blacks put together refuse to do. And that is to put these people on the spot. They've been taking advantage of the black vote for too long. We've been going out there 90% trying to get them over the hump, and they still tell us to kiss all of that black behind like you just told us. Well, first of all, Roland, for us to kiss your black behind, it'll take 100, 300, 400 years. It'll take the entire history of slavery in America to finish kissing your behind, your big behind. Number two, you kiss ours. Because whether you like it or not, we're leaving you behind. Ain't no way you're gonna get in front of this and stop it. And all you're gonna see is our black behind. And you can kiss that. Number two, ADOS has nothing to do with immigration. Matter of fact, most of the people came to America on the American dream, including black immigrants. And who built that American dream? Black slaves in America. And all they got was some crappy food, a shed, and some dirty clothes, oftentimes making their own clothes. All they got was being shot, hung, children being raped. I can go on and on and on. Yet we continue to build this country. See, Mr. Bible Man, which you're supposed to be, when Pharaoh released the Hebrews, he gave them reparations. And that's why to this day the Jewish community is one of the wealthiest communities on the face of this earth. Because even the black Egyptians knew that they weren't just gonna let you leave without giving you something to leave with. And they had left with a bunch of wealth. Why? Because the Egyptian government can afford to let them leave with some of the wealth, just like the United States in their wealth. Anytime we can spend 7, 10, 20 trillion dollars on a war that we didn't start, not really in our interest unless it's some gold or diamonds that we want, we're spending on. And you telling me we can't spend that on the descendants of slaves. So roly-poly, sugar bear, this has nothing to do with immigration. If black immigrants want to join us in this movement, we have no problem. But you got to understand that that reparation check does not go to them. It goes to American descendants of slaves. Now, if you happen to trace your immigration from Haiti, your immigration from Jamaica on a slave trade into the United States, and you were part of a slave owner or a plantation in the United States, you're going to get a check because this is American descendants of slaves. It's not African descendants of slaves. This American descendants of slaves. It's just that majority, a lot of African American descendants of slaves is going to get a lot of that because they came from Africa. But unfortunately, and I know a lot of ADOS people may agree or may not agree, there were some black indigenous that were brought into slavery. And they were made to work as a black slave. There were people from other countries that was traded from one country to the United States in the early days to become slaves. So as long as you can trace your lineage to a descendant of slaves, which it seems like you can't do, though, boy, you deserve a piece of that $20 trillion pie. You deserve a check, and you deserve to take your investment money and invest it to close your personal wealth gap. And many people get that wealth gap closed, the better we are as a country. Now, it's asinine, dumb and stupid for you to get jealous, for you to try to tell them what to do. And it's also asinine and dumb and stupid to continue to tap dance, do the heel toe, to run down black men and women on white television, predominantly white television. That's dumb and asinine. And it's dumb and asinine to keep giving your vote to people who have not done nothing for your community. They may have done for your Haitian community, but they ain't doing nothing for descendants of slaves. And you know this, Roland. So to keep voting for people who ain't gonna do nothing for you is dumb. See, the brother said at the end, and this was a quote, "I'd rather jump off the ship and drown in the sea to become a slave of your oppression, for you to oppress me all the days of my life. I'd rather take my own life than do this." That's what ADOS pretty much is all about. I'd rather not give you another yes vote if you and your cohorts at Capitol Hill is going to continue to ignore me. I'm not going to give you another chance to say you're going to do something for us. Either you're going to do it now, show it to me now, spend some time with us now, develop that plan now. We got people that'll help you with that. We need concrete things in policy right now. You need to put it on your bully pulpit or you ain't getting our vote. And yes, you think we worry about the fear of Trump? If we don't close that wealth gap, man, and if you don't help us, then we got you to fear too. See, Roland Martin is a piece of work. Day after day, day after day after day, he continued to show me, and yeah, I'm talking about you, I'm calling your name. He continued to show me that he is a real life Stephen from Unchained. I thought Jesse Lee Peterson was bad. See, I can understand Jesse Lee Peterson. He sold out to a sold out organization, the RNC. But Roland Martin actually thinks the DNC is in the interest of black people, and they're not. He's looking for the people who are closest to the interests of black people, yet they still have no interest. I don't need the closest. I need some people who are in the full interest of black people. And none of them have shown that. That is why, whether you like it or not, we're taking our vote and we're saying, if you're not going to give us our agenda, kiss our vote goodbye. We'll rather die in the sea than allow you to continue to oppress us. We'll rather put it all on the line and risk dying to get what's rightfully ours. No longer sitting around with the normal status quo and nothing done for black people in particular, even from so-called black politicians. And I say so-called because you show me your blackness in your legislation just as well as you show me in your skin tone. I can give a crap about your skin tone, but I'm more concerned, are you black in culture versus black in color? Because Kamala Harris, based on her records, she's not black in culture because of her legislation. Roland Martin. Same thing with Joe Biden. Same thing with a lot of people in office. And whether you like it or not, we just gonna be some dumb, absent-minded people, because we're not gonna no longer giving these Democrats a free vote. You want this vote, you're gonna earn it. Come sit with us, let's come up with a deal, and we'll put our vote on the table. Until then, the vote is off the table. And whether you like it or not, Roland Martin, but it is what's gonna go on in this election, and ain't nothing you can do about it. You can run your mouth on us all you want. It ain't gonna work. We ain't playing games. You continue to monkey around and dance and try to appease and kiss up to these white interests in the Democratic Party so you can get your try to get your exclusive and get your own name out there. That's what sellouts do. But ADOS ain't selling out. If you don't understand it, if you're not going to support it, move out the way or get run over. Hey, this is Robert Brown with the Raw Report. I want to thank you for watching this particular segment of the Raw Report. Now, before you Hey guys, I'm sorry. We've been having some electrical issues here in New York City. But I do want to thank everybody. Shirley Vick, Tone Trent, Jim Hayden, Electric B, Anthony Reyes, D Sugar. Anthony, thank you for always being there, brother. Blair M, True Quad, L Sword Jabbar, 3/5 of Human, the rest of me is a